What is going on, guys, and welcome back. So in this video, this is going to be part 3 of working on these custom side skirts that we're making out of fiberglass. And in this video, I think what we're going to do is try to fit it onto the car, make sure that the fiberglass skirt that I made is actually going to fit, and then once we know it fits, we can start doing the bodywork process of making it straight and not making it look like some kind of weird fleece material. So you can see right here, I have one skirt that's fully hardened up, and this thing is really stiff. I'm squeezing it as hard as I can with my hand, and it's not cracking. So really strong. I'm really happy with the result. I think that the fleece is a really good base. It's very thick. So my only concern now is I wanted to mount it to the factory skirt here, and you can see I had the idea of using a Sawzall, and I cut the ends off of the factory skirt. This is the front where the mud flap mounts, and this is the rear. So I cut those sides off. So now this guy fits in here completely. So now I can mount this onto the car and then mount the side skirt onto this, because otherwise there's no lip here for me to screw this to. And theoretically, the way this works is the door came to about here. You can see the faded line on the plastic. So the door came to about there. So with this stuffed all the way in here, the door should come to about here, is what I'm thinking. So hopefully all of this will fit under the door area, and I think it will. So I mainly just have to worry about this edge right here. So if I can tuck this up in here really nice, then I should be able to sand this edge enough, hopefully, to get the door to close and not clip the side skirt. But that's my only concern right now. So I guess what I want to try to do is probably mount this and then put this on, and then start closing the door. Maybe I'll screw it in just for now, just a couple of quick little sheet metal screws or something like that, just to hold it in place. But yeah, the fitment is pretty good. I'm hoping that it looks like it's a little bit bowed out in the center, but I think once I put it on the car, it should suck it in a little bit. So see if I can get this thing mounted on the car. I'm gonna go attempt to do that right now. All right, guys, so you can see that it does fit. Yeah, I don't know. The shape is pretty interesting. I still think it looks kind of weird, but I think it's just because that back one is so swooped out, and I may try to tame that angle down just a little bit, I think. But other than that, I do like it. I think it looks really cool. So I think that you can see it fits under the door, and I think if it's screwed down, I think even right now the door would open, because I think it's got that downward slope. It's kind of like already coming over the edge here, and this has to get pushed in even more. So you can see once the center gets pushed in, we have like a decent gap there all the way down. So the side skirt did actually stay pretty straight. It's a little bit bowed out in the center, but I think it'll be just fine once I screw it back together. So I hope that the bodywork that I do can flex as much as this. I think it can. I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to hold it straight and true while I do the work on it. Obviously can't have it on the car, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. Maybe I'll just put it on periodically just to make sure that it still fits while I do the body work. But yeah, that being said, I think we're good to go to fiberglass the other side skirt as well. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stiffen that one up, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding this. So I won't show you the stiffening because I already showed you that, but I'll show you guys when I start sanding this with 80 grit. We'll take this all down, and then we'll see if we can start laying some Bondo glass on it and get it to look a little bit smoother. Alright, guys, so I fiberglassed the other one, and I'm fully ready here to start working on sanding this one. Sorry about the background noise. My dad's working on sealing the driveway, so I'm gonna end up helping him out a little bit later, but he's pressure washing for right now. But right here we got our side skirt, and this is the one that I already stiffened previously, and I kind of fit it up to the car, and it looks like I have enough flex in it that I can still screw it and mount it to the factory skirt. So I think we're gonna be okay, and it is gonna fit under the doors, so I'm pretty happy about that. I think that it's gonna come out pretty good. I'm confident now that it's gonna work. So what I'm gonna do now is I have my DA sander with some 80 grit on it right there, and here's my air hose. Gotta stay off the driveway so we don't make a mess. But yeah, I'm gonna go through and just sand this and try to just get it a little bit thinner. And honestly, this stuff's really rough and it's kind of painful. Like if you know, hold it really tight, it stabs you. So I'm gonna go through and sand all this down, knock it all down, make it kind of smooth. And then I think I want to try to bend the fiberglass to make it fit the car properly. And once it's bent correctly, then I'll start to do the body work. Because my worry is that when I start Bondo glassing this like this, and then I go to bend it to push it in place, I'm worried my body work will crack. So I've been sanding for a little while. I've been coming out here and taking some breaks. You can see we're looking pretty smooth. It's definitely getting there. Top and bottom. The bottom still needs a little bit of work, but I've been trying to go through and get it all like I like it. Rounded the corner a little bit here, and also on this side too, which I kind of like. I thought it was a little too drastic, so I rounded it, and I'll shape the rest of it with the Bondo glass. But yeah, it's definitely smoothing out a little bit, So I think just about ready. I'm gonna go try to fit it on the car. It did get a little more flimsy because I removed a little bit of material, but it's not necessarily bad. I think that'll make it more flexible and easier to install. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to fit it on there again. Much thinner up top, so we should be able to get it in there a bit easier. And I'm gonna see what I can do about the fitment and bending. If it's not that much, maybe I'll just start glassing it, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I would like it to not crack when I'm all done with my Bondo glass, but we will see how it goes. Alright guys, so the fitment is actually pretty awesome. Honestly, I like it. In the front, it comes right up to the edge here, maybe a little bit past. If I trim it, I should be able to move it back a little bit further, which I'd like to do, because then it'll be about flush with the back, because we're a little bit shy in the back here. But yeah, we'll try to even the gap out, and I like that right there. It fits nice and tight. Only spot that needs a little bit is the middle, which you can see I'm pushing it in about a half of an inch, maybe less. So when I open the door, you can see where this is actually going to ride. And if I have it sucked all the way in here, it's pushed all the way in. It'll be tied to the side skirt like that. And obviously I'll straighten that whole edge out there, square it up. But yeah, it looks really awesome. I'm really pumped. I think it's going to work. I don't think I have to worry about anything really as far as the bends. I don't think this is that much flex. The fiberglass does that very easily. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and glass it, and then, you know, we'll start sanding and smoothing, make sure we keep it looking the same and uniform. So once the other side dries, I'll be able to do the same thing. But I think it's going to be pretty sweet once it's like that. And we'll tie in the bottom, but it's not too much, I don't think. I think it should be just enough side skirt for me. I'm really happy, honestly. It's coming out really awesome. So I got my Bondo glass right here, and this is basically Bondo with short strand fiberglass mixed in with it. So you can fill the holes in up to a half an inch, and it works on fiberglass. It bonds very well to fiberglass. So this stuff does a really good job. I'm going to mix up a big batch of this right now, and you know, just put some hardener in it, and then I'm going to just try to do a thin layer on the whole thing, or I'll get as far as I can and then mix up some more. And we'll see if we can give this guy a nice coat and get it to be even smoother and stronger. So I mixed up, you know, 2 or 3 batches of Bondo glass, and I definitely got this thing nice and coated. Some areas are already dry, like over here, and some other areas I didn't put as much hardener in it. You can see it's a little bit more green. This side's not quite as dry as the other side, but we're gonna let everything dry. Maybe I'll sit it out in the sun for a little while, and then we'll probably come back to it. I'll probably just come back to it with a DA for now, just to take down, you know, the initial roughness of it. But it should hopefully help to smooth out the side skirt and get it closer to the final shape that we're looking for. So yeah, gives me some more stuff to sand through in order to get this thing smoothed out. Definitely gonna need some more coats, and I still have to go on the bottom, but should fill in a lot of those gaps we were looking at before, and yeah, overall have this thing looking nicer in the end. So I spared you guys another time lapse of me sanding, but I did sand a lot of this Bondo glass, and it's coming out a little bit smoother. You can see I still have some areas to sand. I got a new piece of paper, but this side's starting to come out nice and smooth. So there's definitely still some low areas and areas that I gotta continue to sand, but I will go on and add another coat of lighter weight filler after this. This is just the preliminary coat here to smooth out any of the super low areas, and I'm just DAing everything. So yeah, this is coming along. Still have a lot of the bottom side to do, but it's definitely starting to seem more like a fiberglass part, and it is very durable. As you can see, I just threw it at the ground and it's fine. Yeah, so nice and strong. Don't really have to worry too much about you know, breaking it, I guess. Apparently it's pretty good. I guess that's it's a good sign. So yeah, I'm gonna keep sanding, and we'll see what we end up with. So after some more sanding, this thing's actually looking really good. A lot of the roughness is gone. There's still like some holes you can see, little pinholes and stuff in the bodywork, but yeah, it's looking really good overall. So that stuff is really hard to sand, that Bondo glass. So I'm going to switch over to a little bit more lightweight of a filler, just some regular Bondo, just some junk stuff. Not really junk, but don't use this that much, but I think it's perfect for this because I'm just globbing it on really and then sanding most of it off. But you know, we're just going to see if we can get a thin coat on everything. You know, corners included, try to beef everything up just a little bit. We got a thin layer on this, and it's helping to remove some of the wave of the fiberglass when I go ahead and hit it with a DA. But I think after I put this on, I might actually try to start using a sanding block on this and try to get it a little bit smooth. I'll see if I can use a big block on it. It's going to be tough to keep it clamped, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah, just going to go ahead and throw some more Bondo on. So that last coat of Bondo that I put on, which was the other type of Bondo, not the glass, but the other stuff that's easier to sand, I went through and I hit that with a DA just to take it down initially, and then I actually used this nice block here. It's not the longest, but it was manageable on this part, I think. So decently long block here. You can see it's, you know, longer than my hand, but I used that to actually go and block the entire surface of this thing, and honestly, it's looking really good. I didn't mess with the bottom too much. It doesn't have to be super straight, but you can see all the areas where I left Bondo, the new Bondo there, and where I've sanded through to the Bondo glass, and even on the corners, because it was kind of rounded, but I guess I'm sort of flattening it out a bit until we get to the ends, and then I kind of tapers round. Hopefully I can mimic it with the other one. I guess we'll have to just, you know, see if they feel the same. But you can see that I did take a lot of waves out because I was blocking it the long way like this. So when you do that, it wants to smooth out the waves, and this long block, you know, it sands the high areas and the low areas don't get sanded until you quite get there. And I ended up using a guide coat right here, where, you know, you end up taking this thing and you put it on here, and it leaves, well, it doesn't if you're all full of other dust, but it leaves a black mark. And then when you sand, I've showed this before, but when you sand, that goes away. So I use that. You can see here's an area where we had some Bondo spots that weren't so thick, so they were kind of thin there, so we didn't quite get there. I might keep sanding, or I might just hit those with a little bit of lightweight filler. I might go over most of it with lightweight filler. I'm gonna see exactly what I want to do, but I think that overall right now it's really straight. I just got to go over some spots and touch it up, but it's pretty straight, and I'm pretty excited. I think I just might need a coat of lightweight filler, and then this one is pretty much ready for primer, almost. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's pretty close. So I think it's ready for primer. I'd like to mount it, make sure it's going to be, you know, stable, put all the screws in it and everything, and then we'll go ahead and prime this thing.
I still have the other one to do. That one is right out of stiffening. But yeah, so I still got to go through, trim all the fiberglass off the edges of this one, and sand the outside, and then go ahead and hit it with the first coat of Bondo Glass, sand that through. This one is a little bit more warped though. I don't know if you can tell. So this one I might actually need to bend back into shape. I'm gonna go ahead and try to fit this on there at some point, but it does look a little bit warped to me. So if I have to bend this one, I'll show you guys that process as well in this video too. But for tonight, I'm calling it quits. I made pretty good progress on this, and it's really starting to look like an actual side skirt now. So pretty excited. It looks like a real part, so pretty sweet. I'm really pumped. I did not know how this is gonna come out, and it's surprising me, so really cool. Hopefully you guys are enjoying, but I'm gonna call it for tonight. I'll definitely show you guys the rest of the process of this. All right guys, so it is a couple days later, and I got this second side skirt sitting down here underneath, well, underneath the doors, I guess, sitting on the factory side skirt, and it sits pretty good. It looks pretty good. The only issue is this one is kind of warped. So I was saying that previously, I think, but this one is so warped that I think that it might actually be pretty bad. Like if you look underneath, I don't know if you can quite tell, but it's sitting down pretty far, and when I push this in, it's like almost touching the ground. It's so warped. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. As of right now, my plan is to I want to try to get it where the fitment's gonna be. I'm a little bit bummed that it's kind of short in back, but I think I might be able to work something out with a little bit of Bondo Glass and try to shape it into there a little bit, because it's just shorter than I would like. Like the front looks perfect in my opinion. It like is just level with it. It looks really nice and clean, but the back is just a little bit short. So I'll try to push it back a little bit, I think, and then I'm gonna try to just fill in the rest of it with a little bit of Bondo Glass. But couple of tweaks here and there. I'll do the same thing to this one, but this one is looking really good. This one's also a little bit tweaked, but not nearly as bad. So the process that I'm going to try is I'm going to try to heat it up and bend it. I've heard of people having luck with bending fiberglass by heating it up. So we're going to shoot for like, I don't know, probably 150 degrees or so, maybe a little bit hotter. And I'm just going to try to massage it into place, and hopefully we can get it to hold a shape like we like it and not like it looks right now. So first things first though, I'm gonna try to get it mounted. So I'm gonna scooch it back a little bit, and then I'm gonna put some screws through my skirt into the plastic skirt, and that should hold it about where it's gonna be. And then I'll probably take it off of the car and then try to bend it a little bit on the bench. So we'll see how that goes. Skirt. Oops. Nice. Durability is the point with this thing. I dropped it a bunch of times. But yeah, looking good. Other than this right here. So we basically gotta do one of these, and I'm not sure exactly how I want to accomplish that, but I'm gonna do my best. All right, so I got my heat gun here, and I have my infrared thermometer. So this side skirt's currently about 67 degrees, 66. So we're definitely gonna need to get it hotter than that to bend it. So right now you can see I'm pushing down. Doesn't really want to flex. I can kind of use this as a gauge to see what it's gonna end up being like, because I really would like this to be flat. So in the end, I want this to be flat. So I'm gonna try to heat up the whole thing and push down on the whole thing. And the idea is to get it to cool in that position. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I guess we'll just see what happens here. I'm going to start heating it up and start bending it, and we'll see if it does what I want it to.
Alright, so I'm not sure how much of that clip I'll put in and how much I'll cut out, but essentially I got this thing bent up decent. It's definitely a lot better than it was. I kind of gave it some clamps here, and I'm going to see what it looks like. I'm going to let it cool down to room temperature again and see if it seems like it's better. I kind of worked at it for a while, but I think my best bet might be to be heating it up and clamp it. I think that's probably my best bet to get it to be like I want it. That being said, I might do the same thing with this one because this one's a little bit tweaked as well. This one wasn't nearly as bad, but I do think that I want to do it as well. I shouldn't have put Bondo on it, but I just said whatever. But yeah, if I get this one fixed up nice and it is the right shape and I put Bondo on it, and it should hold. But hopefully this one will still bend a little bit with the Bondo glass that I have on there. It should if I heat it up, but I guess we'll have to see. Hopefully I don't crack all my filler. That would be a big bummer, but you know, I guess I learn as I go. So this one we're gonna make right. At least this one is the driver's side, which is the one that I will look at all the time. So that's the little things that matter, I guess. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave this clamp for a little while and let it cool down, and we'll see what it's looking like after that. Alright guys, so I would call that a success. I think I showed you this angle before and it was way up in the air. Now we're just a little bit of an angle, you know, we're not completely flat parallel with the ground, but we are pretty close. And I think that I do eventually want to tie this in on the bottom, so I think that I'll do some kind of fastener on the bottom. Obviously I got to pull all these staples out that are sticking out in there, but yeah, I kind of want overkill on the staples. If you're doing this, don't use that many staples because it's just more work later on. But anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with that result. I think that this thing's been decent enough now where, you know, I think it's going to hold its shape like I want. So I'm going to go ahead and try to throw it back on the car, see what it looks like. I think that we definitely did some bending. I mean, like, it definitely looks a lot different, and it's pretty well cooled down now. So yeah, this side's still a little bit raised up, but you know, I think that we are within the workability range of mounting it now, so we can actually screw it to the bottom of the factory side skirt and have it nice and tucked out of the way. So let's go ahead and throw it on, and then I think that's probably gonna be it for this video. Alright guys, exactly like I thought, we're now within the workable range of being able to mount this thing on the bottom. So you can see when I push on it, it tidies it up a little bit. You may or may not be able to see that movement, but let me get closer. When I tie it up, it sucks it right down under like I would like, and we're gonna have nice clearance because before it was hanging down like this far, but now it's pretty tucked up, and once I pin it here, it should be fine. It should be, you know, I think there's other areas of the car that are still gonna be lower even with this side skirt on, so I don't think that we're gonna hit any curbs with it. That's my main concern. I don't want to hit anything on it, and I don't think that I will, so hopefully not. But yeah, with that being said, I think that's going to be it for this video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I know I'm certainly enjoying this process. I was not sure how this is going to turn out, so seeing it come together is really cool. And looking at this one right here, I'm thinking this is going to come out really nice because this thing feels really good. I was able to get all the waves out of it, so hopefully, as long as I can bend this, which I think I should be able to bend it enough, it doesn't need much. I think these are both going to fit really good, and yeah, I know at least this one's going to fit awesome because it seems like it's going to tuck up nice. So I just got to slap the Bondo glass on it like I did with the other one and get it to that point, and then they'll be ready for some lightweight filler. So next time I think I'll show you guys the lightweight filler and prep for primer, and then probably some primer. So look forward to primer in the next video, and then these things will be ready to go on the car, and we'll get to see what they look like all primered up. So pretty stoked. Things are coming out really good. Make sure to subscribe to see more, and stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. The link's in the description. And yeah, have a great day. Peace.